What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another beginner-friendly nail art compilation for you. I've got 6 different easy designs, so I'm going to walk you through each one. I've got all the products listed on the screen as well as in the description. I did have Valentine's Day in mind for these manicures, but really you can wear them any time of year. So let's go ahead and get started. So this first manicure I like to think of as my classic Valentine's Day nail art look because I do it pretty much every Valentine's Day. This time I'm going to start off with a neutral nude base, and what I'm going to do is I'm taking a pink nail polish and I'm using the bottle brush and basically just doing these 2 swipes on my nail that form the top of a heart. And I know this seems crazy intimidating, but it's actually super easy, and the quicker and more confidently you do it, the smoother your line is going to be, and you can get it on your skin. As you can see, I had to clean up around the edges afterwards, but trust me, if you hesitate or if you try to go slowly, it's probably going to turn out a little bit shaky. So you want to try to work fast here. And what I've been enjoying doing recently is I actually like to do a second level of that heart top. So it's almost like a French manicure, but with heart shape instead of just a regular line. So you can see I basically kind of moved into a more intense Valentine's Day kind of color. So I had the pink to start. I feel like that would be really pretty on its own, but I ended up adding in this deeper sparkly pink color just to give it a little bit of a pop. And again, I made a total mess of my skin around my nail, but I just wiped that off with some nail polish remover and a little cleanup brush, and that's pretty much it. This next design is a little bit of a play on negative space manicures. I'm actually using a little bit of striping tape that I put diagonally across my nail just because I don't trust myself to draw very straight lines, but if you are feeling confident, you can just go right in with the bottle brush and draw this on. But basically what I'm trying to do here is have half of the nail be nude and then half of the nail have white over it. So I'm going to paint on that white polish, and then while the polish is still wet, that's when I'm peeling off my striping tape just to get a nice crisp line. And what's really easy about this type of manicure is you don't need to use striping tape because there's no color underneath. So you can theoretically just go in with a brush and clean up the line if you want to, but I ended up just using striping tape because it's easier. I also did go in with a second coat of the white nail polish just because I wanted it to be a little bit more opaque. And then what I'm taking is this deeper red sparkly nail polish. This one is actually magnetic, but I didn't magnetize it for this manicure. And I'm taking a large dotting tool and I am creating 2 large dots side by side. One of them is kind of in the negative space portion, one of them is in the white nail polish portion, and this is going to be the start of our heart. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do a little heart manicure. So I'm going to take a little nail art brush and I am just going to draw a triangle coming off of the edge of each of those 2 dots, and that just creates the perfect heart shape, and then you just fill in the middle. So it's super easy, super beginner friendly. Again, it seems intimidating, but once you try it, you're like, wow, this is actually pretty easy. And then once that is fully dry, I'm going in with my top coat, and that's just going to seal everything onto one layer, and it's going to look really nice and crisp and beautiful. And I actually do think that it would have been fun to magnetize this now that I think about it, but I was probably going a little bit too slow drawing my heart to magnetize it, so I think it looks cute as is. The next manicure is a little bit of a play on the classic French manicure, but I'm actually going to be using a sparkly sheer nail polish as my base, and this is just something that I love to do. Honestly, I love a French manicure. I know I've talked about it a million times before, and I'll probably talk about it a million more times, but I do love a classic French, and I also love just playing with different colors for French manicures, and there's just something very Valentine's Day-y to me about having this like pink sparkly base color instead of a sheer. I did use top coat in between layers just because, again, I wanted to use striping tape. I don't really trust myself to do straight lines with a nail art brush. So what that top coat does is it kind of creates a barrier so it doesn't peel up the base color of the manicure. And I created a little French tip, and all I'm doing is just painting in that area with my nail art brush. Honestly, I probably could have used my regular nail polish brush for this. I don't know why I decided to use the tiny little brush for this. I guess I was just not feeling too confident that I wasn't going to go over the lines, but it's super easy, just filling in that area. And then again, while it's still wet, I'm going to peel off that tape and I'm left with a nice little French tip. And of course, even with the striping tape, I still managed to color a little bit outside the line. So I'm just going in with a tiny bit of remover and a little brush, and I'm just cleaning that up. And again, because I had that top coat in between, it's not going to remove the layer of polish that I have. So it's super easy. Honestly, looking at this now, I don't know why it's giving me a little bit of like a Christmassy vibe, but I feel like in person, it definitely looks very Valentine-y to me. But also, I could just wear this any time of year. This next manicure is a really fun one because it looks like it's really hard to do, but it's actually super easy once you break it down. I'm actually going to start off with a sheer polish for the base of this one. Honestly, you could literally use any combination of colors for this, and truly you could do that with any of the polishes or manicures in this video. But this time I was just feeling the kind of delicate vibes of having a sheer base and then the classic pink colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw roses on my nail. It seems very difficult, but if you watch this, you will see it is literally just a series of slightly curved lines. And when you look at it up close, it really doesn't look that impressive. But once you're done with the design and from far away, it actually really does look like roses. So basically, I am just making circles within circles, but the lines are kind of broken up. So you're not drawing a full circle. You're just kind of drawing, like, at first 2 little half circles, and then you go around them and create more little half circles, and then as it gets bigger and bigger, there's more little broken lines, and it just creates this really beautiful rose pattern. So the way that I always like to do this is I just kind of like to have it coming and growing out of the corner of my nail. So I feel like 3 roses is just the perfect amount for me, but you could also fill your nail with this, or you could just do a French tip of these. It's really easy, and what I think kind of puts the icing on top of the cake is having these tiny little green lines that act as the leaves of the flower. And I think that that really just pulls the whole design together and makes it look like an actual rose manicure. Now for intricate nail art looks like this, I do like to use quick dry drops just to kind of ensure that the manicure is fully dry before I apply my top coat, because the worst thing is when you apply your top coat and it smudges your whole design that you worked really hard on. So I like to use that, wait for it to completely dry, and then just apply my top coat. And that also just really helps smooth out the whole manicure as well. When you're applying it, it might look really lumpy and bumpy and weird, but once it's all on one layer, it really does give a really beautiful rosy look. But if you thought that that flower design was a little bit too difficult, let me show you an even easier version. So basically, I'm just using a small dotting tool. I'm creating 1 dot, and then I am slowly putting 5 little dots around it to create a flower shape. And I know it looks a little bit abstract right now, but once we put a little color in the center, you'll see a little bit better. But for this manicure, I thought it would be fun to kind of just flood my whole nail with different flowers. So I went in with 3 different colors. I thought it would be fun to do a Kelly formula for some of the flowers, just to give a little bit more depth and a little bit more interest in the colors. So I went with a pink cream, a white Kelly, and then a light pink Kelly. All of them are from ILNP, and I kind of just wanted to fill in all of the empty space on my nail. I didn't use a base color for this, but I did use base coat. But if you want, you can always do this kind of manicure over any color. I just thought it would be like a fun negative space kind of manicure. So basically just filling in all of that negative space. And I did realize that I'm not very good at planning out the amount of space that I need for a flower like this. So some of them did overlap a little bit, which honestly I kind of like the look of. I thought it was cute. And again, I just really wanted to fill up the nail, so I was totally fine with that. But I do love the combination of the 3 colors, and I also love the way that that Kelly formula turned out with the little flowers, because I don't know, it just makes them look a little bit more real. So I thought it would be cute to put a little gold metallic dot in the center of them. Usually I would do yellow, but I just felt like having the different finishes on this manicure would add a really interesting pop of color and I guess texture to the manicure. So it kind of just filled in all of the center points of the flowers, and now you can really see that they are flower shaped. And I also just felt like there was an awkward amount of negative space left, so I still went in with that dotting tool and I just added little gold dots wherever I felt like it was too sparse, just to fill in the area and make it a little bit more of like a floral party on my nails. So I feel like it was a little bit too packed at the bottom because I wanted to cover up my visible nail line, and a little bit too sparse at the top, but it's kind of hard to to plan out where to do it. So again, I'm using my quick dry drops just because I do not want to smudge this manicure that I worked very hard on. And then once that is totally dry, I'm going in with my top coat, and thankfully it didn't smudge at all. So once everything was on one layer, again, it just looked really smooth and pretty, and I just love the way that it looks having the flowers against my own naked nail background. I just think it's really pretty, but it would also be very nice over a nude color or even over a green, just to kind of make it look like a field of flowers. And then the final design is something that I thought would look a little bit more elegant. I wanted to go in with a deeper shimmery pink color and then just create kind of an abstract design on my nail. So I went in with that color, super gorgeous, honestly, on its own. I just love a good pink nail polish. And then I'm taking a gold polish, and first I'm going to create a little dot at the center of my nail, kind of towards the top of it, but I wanted to just make sure that I was at the right point before I started drawing in, and I'm just kind of drawing a little triangle from my cuticle area. And I am freehanding this. I was thinking about doing it with striping tape again, but I wanted to practice my freehanding a little bit, and I actually am pretty impressed with how I did with this one because I don't think I'm very good at freehanding lines. But if you want to do this manicure with striping tape, you totally can. After you use your base color, I would recommend doing a layer of top coat in between just to make sure that that striping tape doesn't peel anything up, and then you can just fill in the area. But again, I just went in with the brush and just went for it, and I think it actually turned out pretty good. Once I was satisfied with how that looked, I just went in with my top coat and I finished off the manicure. So yeah, that is it for my little Valentine's Day inspired nail art compilation. Let me know in the comments which of the manicures was your favorite. If you're planning on trying any of them out, definitely tag me if you do and post it on social media, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!